So the Protector's Jubilee event for this year has gone by since last week, and we were able to farm a lot of these Protector's bounties. Personally, I got over 6,000, and well, I opened over 6,000, and I was left pretty disappointed and a bit confused as to why my drops were differing from what I was getting with my preview server tests. This was a test where I opened 1,000 on 10 different characters, resulting in 10,000 opened, and you can see we were getting those drop rates. In particular, coal motes dropping at a 0.3% drop rate, 1 in every 300. I did not get that. I opened 6,000 and I got 5 in that 6,000, resulting in a significantly less drop rate. Now that could just have been bad luck, as we're dealing with small drop rate, and then 10,000 is not exactly a lot, and I could just have been particularly unlucky then on the live server. However, you may notice when you were opening them on the live server, this drop rate table wasn't including all of your rewards. You were obtaining items like these Jubilee Celebration Feasts, these ebony high-back chairs, along with vouchers for your stronghold. All of these rewards were not dropping in my previous server tests, so I was wondering what was the difference. Well, it came down to being in a guild or not. On the live server, I am in a guild. And on the previous server, when I copy a new character over, by default, it's not in a guild. And so I was copying those characters over and testing and opening these packs without being in a guild. So it leads me to question, right? Without a guild, I was getting a drop rate of 0.3% on coal motes. Is it higher then when you're not in a guild? So I've got 2 characters on the previous server. Actually, I copied over loads. But for this test, we're just going to take 2. One of them I am inviting to a guild. The other I will remain out of the guild. And each of them has over 6,000 bounties, with each having 150 already opened. We have plenty of inventory space here. We are now in a guild. We'll relog just to be sure. And the second character has the exact same amount of bounties, but is not in a guild. Let's go and compare our results. But first, let's go through over 1,000 clicks. We can see this one here, we're obtaining vouchers for your guild. We're obtaining those Jubilee Feasts, these ones right here. And you have a lower chance to obtain the ebony chairs. We already have nearly 500 opened here. No coalescent mote inside. There we go. Our first coal mote at around 830. I'll put them right over here. Our next mote at around 1,300. Our next at about 1,750. We got our fourth mote at about 2,400. Fifth mote, pretty lucky at like 2,550. Sixth mote at about 4,100. Seventh in about 4,830. We got our eighth at about 5,150. And we open our last 2, and that's 6,000 opened since we started at 150 already. And you can see all of the rewards here. Yeah, that's a lot of inventory space. We're going to sort that and make a table. But first, we can see we obtained 8 coal motes while within a guild. That is, again, opening 6,000. Now we move to our other character. And we do that all again, but this time without a guild. Another 6,000 bounties. This time you can obviously see we're not getting any of those celebration feasts, and we're not getting any of the ebony chairs, and we're not getting any of the vouchers, which really do clutter up your inventory a lot. Doesn't matter too much if you've got a lot of space, but if you're a hoarder like me who saves anything that has any value, well, you're a bit short on space, or if you refuse to buy inventory space. So pretty nice that this doesn't clutter it up. There's our first coal mote. Again, we're going to put them right there. That's 1 in like 350. We already started with 150 to make sure we can get to the maximum tier of rewards. Again, these do not seem to be dropping legendary insignias at all. I've already opened 10,000 and didn't get any. People are reporting. Many people who have opened thousands and thousands are not getting any. So yeah, the drop rate's not even 1 in 100,000 boxes. Our second call mode at about 730. Our third at about 2,500. Our fourth at about 2,600. Our fifth at about 2,670. The sixth one in nearly 5,000. The seventh in just over 5,000. We got the eighth at about 5,500. The ninth at about 5,690. The 10th at 5,740. The 11th at 5,800. And we open the last two to get to 6,150. We got 11 motes. And this was the rest of the loot. Let's go and put that in a table and have a look at the difference. So this is ultimately what we end up with. You can see the drop amounts without a guild, then with a guild, the drop rates that go with them, and then using some probability math, getting the weights between it to see kind of the average of what it would most likely be standardized as, because there is a whole bit of RNG with regards to opening these. Of course, it's all random. Like, I could obtain a few extra motes here and there than I really should with regards to probability. You'd have to open millions and millions to really nail down the accurate probability, and even then you could still be off. So using a bit of math with the weights, we can get the expected drop rates of how it would be with more like integer percentages. And you have to keep in mind, right? Basically, when you're not in a guild, your loot table is smaller. So it's more likely that you actually obtain what you want. When you're in a guild, you have 5 different things added to it, and thus you're reducing your chance of everything else. Because every time you're opening a Protector's Bounty, you're obtaining 1 piece of renown, that's a constant, plus 1 of these other rewards. So the more of those different other rewards that are there to drop, the less likely you get exactly what you want. So when you're not in a guild and you're looking for coal motes, you'll have the highest chance in order to do so. So yeah, some of us definitely missed out of getting an extra coal mote here and there. That's pretty disappointing. I guess we'll know for next time. But we don't know. Next year could be different. I personally would like to get some straight information from the devs if this is how it's intended to be, because these are not dropping as extra rewards when you're in a guild, which I think they should. They're dropping as other rewards in that entire loot table, thus reducing the chance of obtaining these other things that you might be more interested in. Of course, vouchers, they still have a value. Chairs as well. If a guild wants to kit their guild hall out instead of just using little stools, they could have these chairs and they might pay a little bit to actually obtain them. So ultimately, yes, being in a guild will affect your chance of obtaining coal motes and of course those other rewards. It'll look a lot cleaner too. This is all my loot from not being in a guild, including those 11 coal motes. And when you are in a guild, damn the amount of inventory space you need. That is again where we obtained only 8 coal motes. Again, there is a 3 coal mote difference, but that can just be down to my luck. You want to use probability, look at the weights, and you end up with, yeah, about a 0.02% difference. And across the board, you will generally see increases versus when you are in a guild, because the total percentage here that is being taken away from these rewards and added to your vouchers, feasts, and chairs. So hopefully this has been somewhat insightful to you guys. Again, next year they have promised legendary insignias will drop. We'll see what drop rate that is, and we'll see if they change any of this. I definitely intend to test no guild versus guild when they go ahead and update these bounties again. I apologize for not testing this sooner, and so we could have taken advantage of it this year. But it didn't lead me to question this until I actually opened them on the live server while within a guild. On preview, it was all without being in a guild. So with that said, a special thank you to all these channel members for their added support. You can click the join button down below to support me for as little as €1 a month. It's greatly appreciated. And so we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.